Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
I'm going to need to swear you in and take some brief testimony from you. And from there, I'll continue with the attorneys. Please raise your right hand, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
I do.
You can lower your hand.
Hey everyone, it's Ladybug here, and this morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we got to see this lady, Donna Adelson, at her case management conference in the case of State of Florida v. Donna Adelson. And before we get started, I'm going to give you a brief recap of what you're going to see.
Thank you, Ladybug. Let me take over from here. So you all know that Charles Adelson was just convicted of the murder of Dan Markel, and he was represented at trial by attorney Dan Rushbaum. And now Donna Adelson has decided to hire Dan Rushbaum as well. Well, Donna was actually represented by Mr. Rushbaum long before he took over as counsel for Charles Adelson when Charles Adelson was charged. So a conflict of interest exists, and a waiver was signed way back when he changed from representing Donna to represent Charlie. And both the former client and the new client had to agree to waive the conflict of interest. And that happened when Dan Rushbaum represented Charles Adelson. And now the reverse is happening. This time, Dan Rushbaum is going to represent Donna again, and so waivers had to be signed by Charles Adelson and Donna, waiving any conflict of interest. Now, how does the conflict of interest come into play? Let me give you a perfect example. Katherine Magbanua testified 3 times at 3 different trials, and now she will probably testify a 4th time at the trial of State of Florida against Donna Adelson. It would probably be a good move by the defense to actually do depositions this time around. That's what I would do if I were them. I was surprised that no deposition was done of for example, Katherine Magbanua. And I believe that one of the reasons why they didn't do almost any depositions is because they wanted to throw the prosecutors off about what the defense was going to be. They wanted to surprise the prosecutors with this defense of extortion. But the cat's out of the bag, or so they say. And now the prosecutors know what defense the Adelsons were going to use, because they're defending all of this together as a family. So that cat's out of the bag. So now they should be doing depositions. Specifically, I would be doing the deposition of Katherine Magbanua. And I would ask her very detailed questions about her involvement during the murder, during the first trip in June, during the second trip in July, the whole thing about the Instagram photo with the owl. I would just ask her tons and tons of questions if I'm the defense attorney for Donna. Why? Because I want to show that she lied in the proffers, that she lied in the 3rd trial as well, that she actually was hiding stuff even in the 3rd trial. If I can show that, I can show even further that she's a liar. However, let's say that Charles Adelson, by some miracle, wins his appeal and gets a new trial. And now I have done depositions of Katherine Magbanua, and I was able to get additional information from Katherine Magbanua that is hurtful to Charles, but may be helpful to Donna. Helpful to Donna in the sense that it demonstrates that she lied in the 3rd trial. Hurtful to Charles because these new revelations at the deposition maybe had to do with additional details about her involvement in Charles. There is a conflict of interest, but according to Dan Rushbaum, the conflict is waivable by both sides. The judge here, Judge Everett, is going to ask questions of Donna to determine, to make sure that there is enough record evidence that this is a known involuntary waiver by Donna Adelson of her constitutional right to have conflict-free counsel. So he asks those questions of her, and obviously if she doesn't understand the waiver, then it becomes an issue where the judge may have to take some action. Maybe would have to deny the motion for Dan Rashbaum to represent Donna. But if it is a knowing and voluntary waiver, that's her decision. She can waive her constitutional right. Dan Rashbaum can stay in the case. So to prevent issues on appeal, the judge conducts this inquiry, and then if he's satisfied that this is a knowing and voluntary waiver, and she's being provided information during the colloquy, during the exchange between the judge and Donna, and she seems to understand and still wants to have Dan Rashbaum, then everybody washes their hand, and it's her decision. Now, why would she want to have Dan Rashbaum involved after he had just lost the trial while defending her son? That's her decision. Obviously, he's very well prepared. He was very well prepared for the trial for Charles Adelson. He knows the evidence inside out, and there seems to be a good relationship between the Adelsons and Dan Rashbaum. But we know that at least this time they got an additional attorney involved, Alex Morris, and that so now there's a team of lawyers that includes a local attorney, and it is a competent attorney. So we'll see how that's going to affect the defense. But here is the exchange between Judge Everett and Donna. Thanks for watching Mentor Lawyer.
So let's check it out together. Let us know what you think, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, everybody.
Good morning, Ms. Adelson. Are you capable of hearing me?
Yes, I am.
All right. In the courtroom with me this morning is your counsel and also counsel for the state. I'm just going to ask at this time for all non-parties to this hearing not to speak or interfere with the business of the court. I'll allow the attorneys to make their appearances at this time.
Sarah Catherine Dugan for the state.
Good morning, Dan Rashbaum on behalf of Mrs. Adelson.
I'll allow both parties to provide any update that they wish, but I did have some matters that I wanted to raise also during this hearing today. Ms. Dugan, concerning discovery that's been turned over to the defense, are there any new or additional matters that have yet not been turned over at this point?
Not that I know of. I know that Mr. Rashbaum had an issue receiving something via OneDrive and was going to get a copy of the hard drive today from our office, so it's ongoing.
Right. Mr. Rashbaum, with regard to your review of this discovery, obviously you need to get everything the state needs to turn over, but is your review as such where we're going to need another case management in the next few months, or do you think we're in a position to start talking trial dates?
Judge, I think we'd ask for a case management sooner, maybe in 3 weeks. I think we'll have a better idea then. The state's been working diligently with us on the discovery, but I think we'll have a better idea in the next 3 weeks or so.
Okay. Ms. Adelson, there is a matter that I am going to have to address with you as well concerning conflicts that would be related to your counsel in this representation. I'm going to need to swear you in and take some brief testimony from you. And from there, I'll continue with the attorneys. Please raise your right hand, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
I do.
You can lower your hand. Ms. Adelson, do you understand under the Constitution you have the right to conflict-free representation?
I do.
As it relates to your current attorney, Mr. Rashbaum, representing you, you understand that he has certain duties as it relates to his prior representation with your son.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand.
You understand his prior duty of confidence that he must maintain under the rules of professional responsibility in some way could affect your representation.
I do, Your Honor.
And do you also understand in deciding whether or not to waive any conflict concerning this matter, you have the right to obtain independent counsel on that matter?
I do, Your Honor.
Have you been able to discuss with independent counsel whether or not to waive any conflicts as it relates to the prior representation of your son?
I have, Your Honor.
And are you in fact waiving any such conflicts?
I am, Your Honor.
There is a second issue as well as it relates to the rules of professional responsibility for attorneys. There is another prohibition within them that deals with the matter of an attorney possibly being a witness in a case. I do not know if the state would seek to call your attorney as a witness for any matter. However, you understand an attorney cannot be both advocate and witness in the same case.
I understand that, Your Honor.
Do you understand as well if the state attempted to call your attorney for any reason that could materially affect your defense?
I understand.
Do you also understand you have the right to obtain independent counsel to assist you in making the decision as to whether or not you wish to waive this conflict, or even potential of conflict, I should say?
Yes, I'm aware of that, Your Honor.
And do you waive this potential conflict as well?
I do.
Mr. Rauschbaum, do you wish there to be any further inquiry as it would pertain to Lazarlet versus state?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Adelson. That will conclude all testimony that I will need from you today. Does the defense have anything that it wishes to raise this morning?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Dugan, does the state have anything that it wishes to raise?
No, sir.
Very well. So we can settle on another date for case management coming up. You were asking for 3 weeks from now, Mr. Rauschbaum?
That would be great, Your Honor, if you could accommodate that. Or somewhere near that.
All right. I have case management coming up again on February 12th. However, that's my normal case management day. Is this something that we're going to be able to accomplish within the normal time confines, or we're going to need a carved out date? Ms. Dugan?
I don't expect any issue would take more than 10 or 15 minutes, so I think a regular court day would be fine.
Very well. February 12th at 2:30 in the afternoon. We will schedule the next case management date. Ms. Adelson, once again, you will appear by Zoom, but your counsel will be in the courtroom and you will be able to hear him, obviously, in preparation for any court date. Either him or Mr. Morris can visit with you and discuss all pertinent matters. One question that I did have for the defense as well, is there going to be a waiver of speedy trial, or do we know when the 175th day is going to be if we need to start thinking about calendaring a trial?
There's not going to be a waiver yet, Your Honor. I don't know when the 175th day is, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. We're working diligently with the state to try to figure out a trial date.
Right. Ms. Dugan, do you wish to be heard as to that issue?
No, sir.
Very well. With that being said, that covers everything I believe we need to hit for today's hearing. Ms. Adelson, your counsel will be in touch with you to discuss matters before February. I will see you then. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
That brings the hearing to a conclusion this morning. Have a good day, everyone.
Take your time, no rush, cover your head. And we're gonna go through that door over in the corner. 34, please show me arrival of UK. Ready for ending? $6014. Let's have a seat. Oh, you know why?
It's a little bit.
Yeah. That's why. Oh, let's stand over just in case it starts raining. Hello. How you doing, boss? Hold on for me. Yeah.
In casual conversations, I don't know whether to call him my ex-late spouse or my late ex-spouse, except that late ex-spouse sounds like latex spouse. Last July, someone, and we still don't know who, shot my ex-husband point blank in the back of the head as he pulled into our garage after driving our then 3- and 4-year-old sons to preschool. It feels sacrilegious these days, even to suggest something less than heroic about my late ex-husband, because he was murdered. He died violently and young, and likely at the hands of a professional killer. My mom and I have lived together for almost a year. She is selfless, loving, beautiful. She thinks she's fat. She once got turned down from Weight Watchers because she didn't have enough excess weight to be admitted to the program. She thinks she is stupid. My mom and I have lived together for almost a year. She is selfless, generous, loving, and beautiful. She thinks she is fat. She once got turned down from Weight Watchers because she didn't have enough excess weight to be admitted to the program. She thinks she is stupid. My mom, who won the New York Spelling Bee for middle schoolers when she was only in the 6th grade. I am so many of the things I am because of who my mom is and who she wants me to be. I was valedictorian of my high school. She seemed proudest that I graduated high school still a virgin. You asked, how are we doing really? And I was shaking from head to toe. And I thought, okay, let's just do this. Let's just dive in. I didn't have a plan to do it. It just felt unavoidable. The words kind of just flew out of me. But then when I was done, I sat there and I couldn't look anyone in the eye. And I was sweaty and I just thought, okay, now I've done it. Now it's out there. Now what? It felt unfair that I couldn't at least tell my own story, that the story got told for me. So I think there was an aspect of empowerment, of being able to say, no, this is my side of the story. This is what things look like from my perspective. Danny used to tell me that everyone thought that I was such a nice person and such a good person, but he was the only one that knew the truth about what a bad person I was. He was convinced I had deluded everyone but him. It felt unfair that I couldn't at least tell my own story, that the story got told for me. So I think there was an aspect of empowerment, of being able to say, no, this is my side of the story. This is what things look like from my perspective. Danny used to tell me that everyone thought that I was such a nice person and such a good person, but he was the only one that knew the truth about what a bad person I was. He was convinced I had deluded everyone but him. In casual conversations, I don't know whether to call him my ex-late spouse or my late ex-spouse, except that late ex-spouse sounds kind of like latex spouse.
Was my family, is what I
Different
say.
now, isn't it?
No, it's not different. That's exactly
different
what I
today,
said
isn't
right
it?
here. No, that's not
No
right.
further questions.
But then when I was done, I sat there and I couldn't look anyone in the eye. And I was sweaty and I just thought, okay, now I've done it. Now it's out there. Now what?